Your ADHD is ruining your calisthenics progress. When I had first started training, after maybe a year and a half of weightlifting, I was like super into the skills. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to learn this. I'm going to learn front lever, and I'm going to learn muscle up, and I'm going to learn handstand push up and 90-degree handstand push up, and I'm going to get really strong in weighted dips and weighted pull ups. But I had spoken with someone who's actually like fairly progressed in calisthenics, and they had told me, hey, I want to slow down. You're just getting into it. You're not able to train all the skills yet because you're not good at any of the skills. So you have to learn like one or two in the beginning before you can start training a couple of them at the same time. I went, cool. I picked front lever, handstand push-up, and I would train weights as well. So I would do like weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, but I would also do my handstand progressions and my front lever progressions and all that. And I remember when like I had first started, like maybe a couple weeks in. So I was doing my progressions. Like first I was at 8 seconds and 10 seconds and 15 seconds next workout. So 3 workouts in. And then like, oh, that 15 seconds, I get to advance the progression. So now instead of doing like tucked front lever holds, I'm doing advanced tuck where my legs are a little bit further out. Now I'm doing straddle, and now I'm like getting my legs closer together, and I'm doing the negatives and like all the cool stuff for the handstand push-ups. Like I'm doing the negatives because I'm already strong enough from the weighted dips to do the negatives. It's just a balancing. So I'm able to like do the negatives and I'm falling on my face, but like every session I feel progress and I feel like I'm doing better. But then social media creeps in, and I'm watching like Instagram videos of guys doing full planche and 90-degree handstand push-ups, and I'm seeing a lot of muscle ups and muscle up variations and also weighted skills. And I'm also seeing like Malteses and iron crosses and wide muscle ups where you grab a bar on either side and you have your arms all the way out and you come over. And also arm wrestling was something I was interested in. So I wanted to add arm wrestling as well. So I added arm wrestling, and I was going all in on these different things. And I was like, okay, well, I can't train all of them at the same time because I know a lot about training. So I understand that you can't have like 50 sets of workout and do all these different things because there's so much diminishing returns that you're just going to get fatigued and then you're not able to train anymore. So I decided, okay, now I'm going to focus on front lever. Oh, wait, I want to do on muscle up now. Oh, now like wide negative, now like wide slow muscle ups because those are cool. And like, oh, that kind of hurts my shoulder. Back to handstand push-ups, and oh, I'm going to go back, and oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And it got to the point to where every week my entire training split would change. I would go from prioritizing front lever and doing this, and not doing weights anymore because I want to train front lever and muscle ups at the same time and weighted muscle ups. So like, I wouldn't do any weighted pull ups, but I kind of miss my weighted pull up, and like I want to learn a 1-arm pull up in the future, and I heard that getting good on weighted pull ups helped with that. So let me add some weighted pull ups. Oh, now I'm sore. I got to remove something, and my ADHD mentality of constantly being distracted, constantly wanting to change my goal cost me. And if you can relate to this, your actionable step is simply just get off social media. Because how often is it that your training's going good, 10 out of 10 progress, like you're progressing every session, like you're super happy with what you're making. You're like, heck yeah, I'm on track to learning the skill in like a couple months, couple weeks. I've almost got it. I was literally holding like basically a full front lever, just like with hips like sagged a little bit. It was only a few inches. And then I changed. And then I wasn't able to hold it anymore. And I'd restart, and I'd spent months plateauing and not making progress. And I had also stayed the same strength and weighted pull-ups. It was around like 30 kilos or around 70 pounds if you're American like me, for like 5 or 6 reps for like months because I was too stubborn to like just take a break and look at things objectively and thinking, oh, well, this method isn't working, so I'm going to do this method in 8 reps instead of 6 reps because new rep ranges, and 10 reps, sets of 3 are best, so I'm going to do sets of 3. And then I would just constantly flip swap, not actually being able to make the proper adaptations in my body that needed to be made. This was because I would ingest social media. I would see people lifting heavy. I would see people testing their maxes. I would see people doing high reps and endurance, and I want to get good at all of it at the same time. And there are ways to do that. But for the goals that I had, they didn't complement each other. An example would be if you want to get really good at weighted pull-ups, muscle up is a perfect skill to learn because you can just do it as a warm-up. You can do a couple sets, 2 to 3 reps, as explosive as you can, working on pulling, and then you can get into your weighted pull-ups. If you want to get good at weighted pull-ups, front lever is something you should prioritize, because if you do them on the same session, one of them fatigues the other. Unless you're really good at it, when you can do like lower intensity and all that kind of stuff. So actionable step, get off social media. Next thing. So that was my story about my ADHD mentality, just so you can relate to me a little bit and know that I have a little bit of experience with this. Second point, how can you become more disciplined with your goals? Because this is really the key thing that is important. So the reason why you change your goals constantly is because you can't think objectively about what you actually want. You look at other people and go, whoa, that's really cool. And that's a perfectly fine reason to have a goal, thinking that looks really cool. I want to be able to do what that guy does. But when you're constantly doing it, you're just becoming like kind of like a sheep. And I hate using that term, but that's kind of what it is. You're just becoming someone else, and you're not being who you are throughout the sport. That is super personal. Calisthenics is a really personal sport that you train how you want to train. Your form, your technique is exactly tailored to you and what you think looks best, what you think will make you perform best, your favorite movements, your favorite skills. And you get to pick what you choose. But when you're constantly picking what someone else chooses, and you have all of these things coming in, and you're here and you have front lever and planche and this guy and this line, and Ian said get strong, but Zlat only does weights, and like he can do a front lever, so only weights matters. But that one Italian dude said, I forget his name, that one Italian dude said you don't even need weights, so skip them and don't do weights anymore, and you can train every day, and just it's your tendons, man, just got to get your tendons conditioned, so like get lots of blood flow, but like, oh, not too much blood flow because you're going to be sore, and it's actually a muscle thing. So how do you become disciplined with these goals? First thing, before you end up changing your goal, you need to do really two things. But first thing, wait at least 1 to 2 weeks after that initial thought of, okay, I want to change something. So another example is you're on social media, but let's say you're not on social media. Let's say you're just out and about, and you're thinking to yourself like, okay, like I've almost done like my one arm pull up. Like my goal was 3 reps. I'm at 2, relatively easy. I'm probably going to hit 3 soon. Think about before you change, and let's say you want to change early. Like, so you're saying, yeah, I'm at 2, but I'm gonna just, instead of doing 3, like what my goal was, I'm gonna just do 2 because I kind of want to switch. I'm not really feeling it anymore. Before you do that, give it 1 to 4 weeks of just doing that thing, and at least 1 week just so you have time to think about it. If you're still like, oh, I really hate one-arm pull-ups, this sucks, I don't want to be here, like these workouts suck, I don't want to be here, this is horrible, I just hate it. And yeah, change your exercise, change your movement, change your goal. If you're thinking, okay, I want to get really good at muscle ups, but at the same time, you also want to get really good at front lever, and you're already doing muscle ups and you kind of suck at them and you want to get better, then learning how to do a front lever is going to interfere with that, because again, they counteract each other. You can't really like do them all in the same workout or on separate days, but if you do them on separate days, it messes with the rest of your recovery, and you're not doing them frequently enough to where you can actually make like good progress. So that's why they interfere with each other. So just wait. Before you make the decision to switch, just wait 1 to 4 weeks, 7 to 28 days. If you can't think long term like that, then I'm sorry, but in the calisthenics game, you're going to do horrible, because it's all long term thinking. It's progressions and getting strong and waiting to hit a certain strength number before doing this skill, and then getting to this number in this skill, and doing the monotonous, boring 20 sets of 1 rep on handstand push-ups before you do 10 sets of 2, and then 20 sets of 2, and then 20 sets of 3. Woohoo! Because you made like a little bit extra progress. Calisthenics is extremely boring when done right. The only way to get excited about it is if you actually enjoy it. And if you wait before changing things, which is kind of the enjoyment, is just starting new and then making a ton of progress in the beginning, and then like kind of slowing down or plateauing because you need to change something up. And when you change something up, you just go to a different skill, which isn't what you want to do. So that's point 1. Wait at least 1 to 4 weeks before changing your skill. Second thing, do what you want to do. You can either journal this, you can either think in depth about it, you can do whatever. But again, back to the social media example, which is 95% of what I've seen of people like changing their opinions on what they want to train is just social media. Do what you want to do. If you constantly see yourself and you're present enough, let's say, to think, I've been really wanting to learn front lever lately. Why do I want to learn front lever? If you go, oh yeah, well, I was watching that one guy who was doing front lever and it looked really good and it was cool. And he was also kind of tall, and like, I'm kind of tall, so that's inspiring. And like, I just want to get better at it because that guy did it and he's cool. But I still want to learn muscle up, and like muscle up is my goal right now. And also I thought it was cool. Like when I saw this dude doing muscle ups and I want to do muscle ups like him, and I don't know what to do. What do you want to do? Do you want to miss out on the progress for muscle ups because you're switching to a new thing? And are you actually going to stay consistent with that new thing? Or are you going to stick with the muscle ups? Or are you going to go to front lever? Or are you going to try and mix them, which doesn't work unless you're good at one of them? You have to make that decision. But do what you want to do. Not what the guy on the internet wanted to do. Not what the guy on the internet did. If you don't want to lift weights, I would still recommend lifting weights and getting strong at them before learning skills. But if you just want to learn skills, just learn the skills. Don't only, if something doesn't make sense to you, if you're like, I don't understand why I have to lift weights, all the arguments I've heard are stupid, the research says this, all these like top athletes are saying this, but they don't have to lift weights, I don't understand why they lift weights. If you don't want to lift weights and you have a reasonable explanation for why you don't want to lift weights, and I'm not saying you have to justify it to me, but I'm just saying in general to yourself. Like I was saying before, do what you want to do, not what other people say. If you think just doing skills is best, just do skills. If you think learning muscle up is best, just learn the muscle up. If you think combining everything is best, just do that. And then you can have other people convince you or give you knowledge on how to actually change your ideas and change your training. But you have to have the ability to think, okay, does this make sense to me? And if it does, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Not what that person's going to do, not what that person's going to do, not what he said or she said or they said, not what I say. What you say, what you want to do, because you're the one training. You're training for you. Calisthenics, the majority of people aren't doing it, like bodybuilders, for example, aren't doing it for the aesthetic physique. A lot of people who train calisthenics do it simply just because it's peaceful. You get that spirit energy. You get to feel like you're progressing, but you're not progressing, but it's just chill. And then when it's not chill, it's like really aggressive because you're doing weights now and you're going for a new PR. But for your handstand workout, you're just doing, again, like I said before, 20 sets of 2. Just chill outside, watching the wind blow. For pull-ups, on the other hand, you're like rah, 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 with your music blasting. That's what you're doing. But it's for you. So don't think this athlete did that or that athlete did that. You can go, okay, that looks fucking sick. I want that as a goal, but when I actually want to achieve it. You can like jot in your mental notebook, okay, that guy did a Maltese on 2 fingers. I want to learn that one day. I'm not going to train that yet because I have other things I want to prioritize, but that's something I'm going to learn because I really want to learn that, just not right now. And that's what a lot of people mistake. They go, oh, I want to learn that, so I'm going to do it right now. Don't do it right now. You don't even want to do it right now. You want to have it, but you want to do it later. If this video helped, if you want more insight, you can join my community called GUO, Get Us Out, and it's tailored to people who want to get out of a bad situation and get into a good situation, whether it's their mentality, whether it's their fitness, whether it's just their life in general. And we do it starting with calisthenics because I believe that this is the best sport on the planet. And this is a thing that's going to convince a lot of people to change their lives. Inside, I drop an exclusive video once a week, sometimes twice a week, maybe even once every 8 days if I feel like it. But exclusive videos from me, just going over things usually requested by members. I'll be going over like technique and just giving knowledge wherever I can, whenever people ask questions. Also, just proper killers in there. In the future, I'm going to create absolute like monsters through like my coaching programs and all that kind of stuff who just know what they're talking about and are super serious about training. And you probably will not find those people anywhere else. And if you do, hang out with them, stay in contact with them because it's not very common. If you're serious, link is below. See you inside. My name is Brandon. Keep doing the best of doing your best. Trust God. Signing off.